Human nurse loses job. Saves a dragon. Next day, for luxury. Beginning. Maya Caro sat in the break room of the orbital clinic, her hands still trembling from the morning's patient. The clinic floated in high orbit above Earth, serving both humans and the occasional alien visitor who required specialized care. Maya had worked here for 7 years as a nurse, and until now, she had believed herself indispensable. But the folded slip of paper on the table in front of her said otherwise. Your contract is terminated, effective immediately. That was all the administrator had given her. No apology, no explanation. Downsizing, they'd said. Budget cuts. But Maya knew better. She had spoken out last month against the clinic's decision to refuse treatment to non-paying alien refugees. She had raised her voice during a staff meeting, declaring that medicine wasn't supposed to discriminate. The administrators had given her a warning then. Now they had given her a box for her things. She rubbed her eyes, trying to chase away the burn of tears. Without her job, her quarters on the orbital station would be repossessed within 48 hours. She had no family left on Earth, no safety net, nothing. She would be another face lost in the corridors, drifting from station to station, hoping for scraps of work. As she walked out of the clinic for the last time, her steps were heavy. She paused by the viewport, gazing out at the dark stretch of space, Earth shining like a blue jewel below. I just wanted to help people, she whispered. With nowhere to go, she took her small shuttle pod out for a drift near the maintenance zones. She wasn't supposed to fly outside designated lanes without clearance, but right now, she didn't care. The silence of space soothed her more than the sterile hallways of the clinic ever could. That was when her scanner picked up something strange. A biological life form. Out here? In the void near the wreckage field? Impossible. She frowned, adjusting her scanners. The signal flickered weakly, its vitals unstable. It was alive, but barely. Without thinking, she guided her pod closer. At first, all she saw was twisted metal, shards of old satellites and broken drones drifting. Then she caught sight of it. A massive, scaled body, tangled in the wreckage. Wings, claws, a long serpentine tail. A dragon. Her heart stuttered in disbelief. Dragons weren't supposed to exist, at least not outside mythology. But this creature was no hallucination. Its chest rose and fell in shallow breaths, and a low rumble escaped its throat like a groan of pain. Gods above, Maya whispered. The dragon's side was pierced by a length of metal beam, glowing faintly with radiation. Its blood floated in crimson spheres, shimmering in the vacuum. Maya's training surged forward, replacing fear with instinct. Patient. Wound. Stabilize. She maneuvered her pod closer, extending the grappling arm. Hang on, she said, though she knew the creature couldn't hear her. You're not dying on my watch. With a series of grunts and alarms, she managed to drag the dragon into her cargo bay, sealing the chamber and flooding it with breathable atmosphere. The creature collapsed onto the floor, its enormous body barely fitting inside. Up close, Maya realized its scales shimmered with iridescent hues, shifting colors like molten metal. Its eyes fluttered open, golden, ancient, intelligent. The dragon tried to move, but collapsed again, hissing in pain. Don't move, Maya whispered. Let me help. Middle. She set to work with what little supplies she had. Her medkit was designed for humanoids, not titanic extraterrestrial reptiles. But principles were principles. She sterilized a wound, injected clotting agents, and carefully extracted the metal shard. The dragon roared, the sound shaking the pod's hull, but it didn't attack. Instead, it fixed its gaze on her, as if studying every move. Hours passed. Maya's hands ached, sweat dripping down her brow. She wrapped the wound in layers of biofoam and nanoweave, whispering encouragement as though the dragon were one of her patients back at the clinic. Finally, the creature's breathing steadied. She slumped against the wall, exhausted. There, you'll live. The dragon's golden eyes locked with hers. A deep rumble filled the chamber, but it wasn't anger. It was almost gratitude. Maya laughed shakily. You're welcome. She should have been terrified. Instead, she felt a strange calm, as though helping the creature had filled a hollow ache left by losing her job. For the first time in days, she felt like herself again. The dragon drifted into sleep, its body curled protectively around something she hadn't noticed before. A black, angular container, about the size of a human trunk. She frowned. What was it protecting? Before she could investigate, her sensors blared. Multiple vessels approaching. Maya scrambled to the console. The identifiers were corporate. Ships belonging to the very conglomerate that had run the clinic. Her stomach dropped. Had they tracked the dragon? A hail came through, cold and sharp. Unregistered pod. Release your cargo immediately. That life form is property of Solaris Biotech. Maya's blood ran cold. Property? They thought this creature belonged to them? She muted the channel and turned to the dragon. It was stirring now, eyes flickering open. She didn't know if it understood her words, but she spoke anyway. They'll take you. Experiment on you. I won't let them. The dragon's gaze lingered on her, unblinking. Slowly, it shifted, nudging the black container toward her with its claw. Maya stared. It wanted her to take it. What is this? She asked softly. No answer, only the golden gaze. The corporate ships fired a warning shot across her bow. Time was running out. Maya shoved the container into her storage locker, sealed the bay, and powered her engines. Hold on, big guy, she muttered, gripping the controls. What followed was chaos. Her pod wasn't designed for combat, but she darted through the wreckage field with desperate precision, using debris as cover. The dragon, sensing the danger, reared its head and unleashed a blast of searing plasma from its maw, catching one of the pursuing ships and sending it spiraling into darkness. Maya shouted in disbelief. You breathe fire? In space? The dragon roared as though in answer. Together, they evaded the rest of pursuers, finally diving into the shadow of Earth's atmosphere, where radar interference gave them cover. By the time they landed on a remote stretch of ocean platform, Maya was shaking with adrenaline. The dragon curled protectively again, though this time its golden eyes seemed softer, almost trusting. Exhausted, Maya leaned back in her seat. She still had no job, no home, no plan, but she had saved the dragon, and whatever was inside that mysterious container. She fell asleep with the dragon's golden eyes watching over her. Ending. The next morning, Maya was awoken not by alarms, but by silence. The dragon was gone. The cargo bay was empty. The metal wall scorched faintly where its claws had rested. For a moment, she wondered if she had dreamed at all. But then she saw the container. It sat in the middle of the room, open. Inside were 4 small crystalline spheres, each radiating a faint glow. Maya picked one up, marveling at the warmth pulsing through it, like a heartbeat. And then the console blinked. An incoming transfer. Her account balance, previously near 0, suddenly spiked, climbing higher and higher until the numbers made her dizzy. Enough credits to buy a new home. Enough to live 10 lifetimes without worry. She staggered back. What is this? The answer came in the form of a message burned onto her screen. Ancient symbols flickered, then translated into her language. For the healer who spared the last of my kind. These are gifts of the Star Drakes. Guard them well. They are more precious than worlds. Maya clutched the glowing spheres to her chest, tears filling her eyes. The dragon hadn't just trusted her with its life. It had trusted her with its legacy. Later that day, news feeds across the solar network lit up with panic. Solaris Biotech ships had been destroyed in the wreckage field, their pursuit of classified assets gone awry. No mention was made of the dragon, but whispers spread in hidden corners of the net about a nurse who had outflown a fleet. Maya didn't care about the rumors. She sat quietly in her pod, the 4 glowing spheres beside her, and smiled for the first time in weeks. Yesterday, she had been unemployed, lost, and broken. Today, she had 4 treasures beyond imagination, and the memory of golden eyes had seen her not as disposable, but as someone worth trusting. Thank you, she whispered into the silence, knowing the dragon was out there somewhere. From that day forward, her life was never the same, because she had saved the dragon, and in return, she had been given not just survival, but the kind of wealth and purpose that no clinic, no corporation, no employer could ever take away.